Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NASCAR Alternate Reality Series. I'm Lee Dark, and I got Josh with me, and we are looking at Sterling Marlin right now because he was fastest in practice.
Fastest impressions indeed. I mean, he laid down a fast layup. I mean, yeah.
Good old Sterling Marlin in that Coors Light 40 Dodge. I can't remember who Sterling Marlin
Silver
drives
bullet.
for.
Uh, Chip Kanaski,
Oh, is it?
I believe. I believe.
And looks like so far people are starting to qualify. Sitting on the pole right now is Richard Petty.
Yeah. Chip Kanaski.
Thanks for looking that up for me. My phone was being dumb. Richard Petty sitting on the pole.
He's been
Oh,
fat. Never mind.
things are shifting. They get one more lap. Sterling Marlin comes back to take it. A little bit of shifting there. Mark Martin makes his way to second. But Sterling Marlin's going to hold the pole. Let's wait for him to get lined up, and I'll go ahead and run the order real quick. Possibly. Here we go. Sitting on the pole is the 40 of Sterling Marlin. Sitting next to him is the number 6 of Mark Martin. Then we got the 43 of Richard Petty sitting next to the 44 of Kenny Wallace. Got the 20 of Tony Stewart sitting next to the 28 of Ricky Rudd. Got the 55 of Darrell Waltrip next to the 88 of Dale Jarrett. Got the 9 of Bill Elliott next to the 18 of Bobby Labonte. Got the 21 of Elliott Sadler next to the 45 of Kyle Petty. You got the 3 of Dale Earnhardt Sr. next to the 97 of Kurt Busch. We got the 15 of Michael Waltrip next to the 2 of Rusty Wallace. We got the 32 of Ricky Craven next to the 36 of Ken Schrader. We got the 24 of Jeff Gordon next to the 5 Terry Labonte. We got the number 8 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. next to the 99 of Jeff Burton. We got the 17 of Matt Kenseth next to the 22 of Ward Burton. We got the 25 of Jerry Nadeau next to the 4 of Kevin LePage. We got the 31 of Mike Skinner next to the 1 of Steve Park. 7 of Mike Wallace next to the 14 of Ron Hornaday Jr. Got the 26 of Jimmy Spencer next to the 10 of Johnny Benson Jr. Got the 66 of Todd Bodine next to the 11 of Brett Bodine. Got the 01 of Jason LaFear next to the 93 of Dave Blaney. Got the 12 of Jeremy Mayfield next to the 33 of Joe Nemechek. And bringing up the rear is the 19 of Casey Atwood. So hit us with the fact, Josh, who won this race in our reality?
I am looking that up right now.
Or at least in the reality where every viewer is watching right now. Because here in our reality, we're about to crown the first 2001 champion.
All right. It looks like this was the Pontiac Experience 400 and raced on May 5th, and it was won by Smoke himself, Tony Stewart.
Well, he is up there starting in 6th. Ricky Rudd also up here. Buckshot Jones is not up here because that is Kenny Wallace.
Ricky Rudd. You mentioned Ricky Rudd. He won the September race here of 2001.
Oh, man. So we'll see what happens here. Mark Martin there in a good spot. Mark Martin so far winless, like a lot of these guys up front. 44, Kenny Wallace, and Kenny Wallace is going to be part of his own team with his brothers, so it'll be cool to see what all happens there. Richard Petty, this is his last year driving the 43. He said he's going to drive to the end of the season, and he wants to put somebody good in that 43. And we've ran the long list of names, and I'm excited to see who could possibly end up in that 43 car.
Oh, it's going to be fun. I know that.
Dropping down to a 2-car team so they can focus on things, which I think is a smart move, even though they seem to be doing pretty good here after that change-up of drivers.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes they say, with the less is more. And having, you know, like you said, less drivers, less cars to keep up with, you might have better results out there on the track.
Exactly right. Couldn't say it better myself. Dale Jarrett and Darrell Waltrip. Darrell Waltrip will be driving one more year after this. He just wanted to get into the 55 and see what kind of team him and his brother are buying. And I believe it's already been signed. It's their team, but the official name change won't start till next season.
Yeah, I mean, they ain't gonna take the name change will not be taking effect to next season. You know, that's more or less to do with, I reckon, contracts and stuff like that.
And another big thing is the 21 car, Elliott Sadler. He's had a fantastic year, and his contract is looking to be ending. We'll see if he signs another year to Wood Brothers. I heard he's getting a lot of offers, including to drive for the 9 of Bill Elliott with Elliott Everham Motorsports.
Definitely something you might want to keep an eye on. That's gonna be interesting.
A lot of things that could change next season. DEI's big change with it's going to be all Earnhardt's driving for DEI next season. With
That's gonna be cool.
That will be really cool, and just to see Goodwrench not going with Dale Earnhardt, so gonna have to see what's gonna happen there, Josh.
Yeah, it's something to keep an eye on. I have an idea, and of who and I mean what sponsor all I'd like to see on the hood, but I'm gonna keep that close to myself. I'm not going to say that, because I want to see what happens.
Michael Waltrip is taking the 15 and Napa with him to drive with his brother. His brother's going to continue driving the 55. But I heard something about Mountain Dew really interested in sponsoring Darrell Waltrip in his last year, if 2002 will be his last year.
That'd be neat.
Right now, Square D, which kind of suits him, I'd say, but I don't know. I'm just used to seeing him in a Mountain Dew car. These guys are pulling it around. Now here at Richmond, that middle lane ends up being what gets used more than the bottom or the top. Mark Martin has a chance to run Sterling Marlin down and take advantage of maybe getting a couple tires in that lane. And if that's the case, he could possibly get a run there on the top. And we're going to see as they get going side by side. Here we go. Sterling Martin going to get a great run there. But Mark Martin's going to fly on the straightaway. Oh, not able to hold it going into the corner, but he's able to stay with him here. Kenny Wallace coming up into being in this conversation as well. Mark Martin gets
Martin's
to
got
the
the
lead. Richard Petty holding on top 5. Mark Martin going to try to go to that outside. Sterling Martin getting a run. Is he going to take the inside? He might be there by a nose. Mark Martin didn't go down, but he still takes off. Right now, Mark Martin is the car to beat. We're 3 laps into this 100-lap race, 4 laps into this 100-lap race here at Richmond. Mark Martin is pulling away. Sterling Marlin falling backwards. The 44 Kenny Wallace is trying to get ahead of Richard Petty. The King holding in on that outside. Darrell Waltrip trying to go with him. Ricky Rudd also in contention there.
Ooh.
Kenny about lost it, able to save it. Now he's holding in with the King. There he goes. Good run by the 44. Mark Martin is pulling away.
Golly, he is.
Could this end his winless streak?
I sure hope it does.
Well, we are too early to tell. 6 laps in to this 100-lap race. Mark Martin has caught up to the back of the field.
Lap traffic may play a huge factor here, and it does.
Oh,
look at that.
Big checkup for that top line. King gonna stick him 3 wide. Richard Petty really good in these tight, crowded situations. He's going to take that middle line.
He's going through there like hot knife through butter. Look at this boost he gets.
And Richard Petty is gone. Mark Martin still in second, but the King is just cutting through the field like a hot knife through butter, Josh.
Yeah.
Gets ran up high by the 7. Gonna get stuck behind the 25. Richard Petty needs to find a way because they're coming back up on him quick. Darrell Waltrip has took second place away. Able to cut through the field pretty well. Right now, the 43 is really struggling to get around the 7. The 7 not making it easy for him. He gets around him on the top side. Bill Elliott, Darrell Waltrip. Darrell Waltrip and Richard Petty here fighting for the lead. Richard Petty ends up getting stuck behind the 31. Bill Elliott's right there as well, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, he's making something of it.
Mark Martin fell back to 13th. You know, a win for Darrell Waltrip could mean huge for that team.
Yeah.
Richard Petty seemed to just kind of give it to him after getting stuck on that outside. Now he's starting to hold in there. Here comes Terry Labonte in the 4. Ricky Rudd looks to be in 5th. Darrell Waltrip now starting to get that same kind of lead that we seen Mark Martin have. But it's what you can do in traffic that seems to matter here.
Yeah, I mean that's and that's going to be a big issue here is lap traffic.
Speaking of lap traffic, looks like he's starting to catch right back up to the back of the field, Josh. Look at Bill Elliott zoom in once they start getting in traffic, because this is where the moments count. Bill Elliott makes the pass. Here comes Richard Petty. The king goes. Jeremy Mayfield seems to be in the way. Ron Hornaday Jr. in the 14. That 14 team gonna belong to Tony Stewart next season. Excited to see that. We have a line of cars. Richard Petty gonna be the first one to have a little bit of break here. Darrell Waltrip right there. Terry Labonte has the down low, pushing the 25, and that's going to be where the opening breaks. Terry Labonte now takes the lead.
Texas Terry.
I believe Terry Labonte already has a win this season.
He does.
Ron Hornaday Jr. just got passed. Looks like Ken Schrader's made his way to second. Terry Labonte just can't seem to find a way around. And Ken Schrader's going to take the low line. Darrell Waltrip's there with him. Rusty Wallace to his outside. This is starting to become a jumbled mess. Richard Petty's still here.
Oh.
Who's going to be the first one to get out of this mess, Josh?
Good question.
Looks like Terry Labonte going to lead Rusty Wallace and Richard Petty out. Richard Petty been running up front since he's took over that 43.
He's acting like he ain't missed a bit.
He ran that one race, and that was supposed to be it. And he was like, you know what? I'll run another. And I think they talked him into staying for the season now.
Yeah.
I don't think it took much talking, to be honest.
No, it didn't take much talking, and I am not upset with that. I mean, it's awesome to see.
Now, next season, who's going to be able to take the reins from the king and actually be able to do something with it, unlike, I mean, no offense to John Andretti and Buckshot Jones, but they just weren't Petty Enterprise quality drivers, it seemed like to me.
They didn't have that Eddie feel to them.
Richard Petty starting to gain on Rusty Wallace. It's a Dodge versus Dodge world right now. Terry Labonte back there in third. The Rusty Wallace Miller Lite car. Another car or another driver I don't know if is won this season is Rusty Wallace.
I don't think he has.
I think Richard Petty was able to squeeze out that victory at the last race. If he didn't win, it was close. Oh, Casey Atwood gonna end up in the way here. Rusty Wallace runs Casey high into Richard Petty's line, and that's gonna give him a little bit of time here as they catch up to more drivers, Josh. Richard didn't like that.
No, he didn't.
Richard seems to be struggling picking lines this time through. Here's Terry. Big checkup. The 0-1. Rusty Wallace, Terry Labonte going to get by. How do you feel about Rusty Wallace starting a team even though he's not going to be driving for it?
It's happened before. I mean, you know, with other drivers starting teams and not driving for it, so I'm with it, so I'm fine.
Instead, he's going to put his brothers behind the wheels of, I believe, 2 cars, or maybe they're only getting 1. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know which team they're buying or anything at the moment, but I know for a fact that Rusty is excited to get it going, get it started, and he's going to have a lot of help from the team he currently drives for.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoke to him briefly, and you know, he's thoroughly excited.
Look at Rusty go. Richard Petty is in second place, and he's back to a 2.5.
He's off by himself right now.
Off by himself, not a care in the world. Richard Petty doesn't have any cars between him now, but won't take long, and Rusty Wallace is going to be cutting back through traffic that he seems to do relatively well. If you asked me before, I would have told you that Richard Petty was probably one of the best of cutting through the field after what we've seen in the last couple races, but Rusty Wallace seemed to do a darn good job.
Yeah, it seemed like Richard ran into some trouble trying to do that today, and Rusty capitalized on it.
Dell Jr., Mark Martin, about to go a lap down. Rusty
Wow.
Wallace dives right in there. We haven't really done that much today. Let's go ahead and look. We're 30 laps into this 100-lap race. The driver's a lap down. Looks like Dale Jr., Mike Skinner, Kevin LePage, Todd Bodine, Jimmy Spencer, Joe Nemechek, Brett Bodine, John Benson Jr., Ron Hornaday Jr. I mean, the list goes on. All those cars down there, laps down. Mark Martin just went a lap down.
Mm.
Michael Waltrip is now the last car on the lead lap. And from the looks of it, he doesn't have long to hold that title. Because here comes Rusty Wallace. Dale Jr., Mark Martin trying to get back on the lead lap. Dale is chasing Rusty Wallace down. Tried to go around the outside, was not able to. They're catching up to Michael. Oh, he cuts him on the inside. Dale Jr. gets back on the lead lap. Here comes Mark Martin. As soon as you get back in front of the leader, I bet you're just pleading for a caution flag.
You have to say there's debris everywhere. There's rain.
There's a bird on the track. I seen it.
Uh-oh.
Can we throw caution for squirrels? Such a squirrel. Mark Martin tried to make it on the outside, was not able to make it work. DEI 8 and 15 trying to pull away from Rusty Wallace, but Rusty has a fast Miller Lite number 2 Dodge. What team does Rusty Wallace drive for?
Oh, gosh. Why am I blanking right now?
Is it Penske?
That's it, yes.
Eh.
I
Poor guy.
had a total brain fart.
Here we are, back up to traffic. Junior gets caught up top line. And flying past goes Dale Earnhardt, Tony Stewart. We're seeing cars about to go a lap down that you normally wouldn't see go a lap down.
Yeah, I mean.
Senior trying to stay ahead of the 2. Mark Martin going to try to take that outside again. It worked for you on the restart, Mark. I don't think it's going to work for you now. They both dive low. Jeff Gordon, Dale Sr., bunch of guys about to go a lap down. Here comes Tony Stewart. Able to pass on the outside. Dale Sr. and Mark Martin touch there. Here goes Dale Jr. down through the middle. Dale Sr. backs off. Wise choice there, Dale. Here comes Michael Waltrip. He's going to hit the middle. Six can't figure out which line he wants to go with. Ricky Rudd has now raced his way up here, Josh, and he is on the lead lap. And Ricky Rudd now battling the leader.
Halfway to go. I'm at the halfway point.
Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Dale Jr., Dale Sr., Michael Waltrip able to get back on the lead lap. But for how long? Here comes Richard Petty. Out of nowhere, Ricky Rudd passes for the outside. Now the leader. Rusty Wallace able to get around. Mark Martin is there, but he's a lap down. He's just trying to get back onto the lead lap, but easier said than done at places like Richmond.
Yeah.
We're over our halfway point. Ricky Rudd is your leader. Rusty Wallace really trying to hold on here. "55 laps into this 100 lap race at Richmond for the NASCAR Alternate Reality Series. Dell Sr. never hit the wall at Daytona. And we see our first taker to pit road in Ricky Rudd. Mark Martin now is pushing harder than ever. Get as close to the leader or get back on the lead lap before we hit pit road. What do you think?
I think that's a wise move to get back on the lead lap. Might be able to make something of it.
Mark Martin still trying to catch Rusty Wallace here, but he is having a tough time at it. Still no pit road for Rusty Wallace.
Is anyone? Yeah, they have. I just seen Steve Park.
Bunch of people on pit road, but not
Okay.
Rusty Wallace.
Here he comes.
Well, we will see who gets back onto the lead lap. Matt Kenseth in pit road. Sterling Marlin, Kurt Busch out of pit road. Have to see how this thing shakes out. I believe Ricky Rudd just took the lead, but we'll see here momentarily. Ricky Rudd has, in fact, took the lead, Josh. Bill Elliott in second, Ken Schrader third, Ricky Craven fourth, Matt Kenseth fifth. Rusty Wallace is in sixth place currently. So we know they can make it on fuel. Now it's just a race to the end, Josh.
Race to the end. Race race to see who can get it.
The closest car to Ricky Rudd is Bill Elliott, who is about a 1.5 second back. It's caught up behind the 25, goes high. Michael Waltrip trying to get a lap back.
And he does. He gets it back to Hardaway. How about that?
Ricky
Can he keep
Rudd.
it, though?
Ricky
Nope.
Rudd puts him right. Oh, he gets stuck behind Jeremy Mayfield. Here comes Bill Elliott. Ken Schrader.
Woo!
Ricky Rudd gives a push to Jeremy Mayfield. I don't know if he's ever had. There's the number 10. Right now, Ricky Rudd looking untouchable. Dale Jr. in the Budweiser 8. Ricky Rudd just having the easiest of time passing. Oh, he gets caught up there. 15 gonna get by. Who is that 33 car, Josh? Joe Nemechek.
Ah.
Right now, the fight continues. Not really much of a fight because Ken Schrader's
Nope.
3.4 back.
Ain't no fight to it.
Dale Elliott fell back to 4th. Terry Labonte 5th. Rusty Wallace is 3rd. Ken Schrader 2nd. Ricky Rudd is up here in 1st. 73 laps of 100.
These laps are going by fast.
Right now, Ricky Rudd is still your leader. Not much has changed on that front. 75 laps into 100. Oh, big checkup here. And this is what could cost Ricky Rudd. Giving Ken Schrader valuable time. He's almost there, Josh.
Wow, he did catch him and caught him fast, but that lap traffic ain't a huge factor to it.
Ken Schrader to the outside.
Can he do it? He's there. He's got the lead for the moment.
For the moment, gets stuck behind the 10.
Got stuck behind Benson.
And Ricky Rudd able to pull off again.
Mentioned trying to get by Atwood at the moment. Does so.
He got a taste of that lead. Can he get back there? We're at 80 laps of 100.
Coming around a 20 to go.
Ken Schrader has gotten a win this season already. Can he make it to Ricky Rudd winless? Can he get a win this season? I mean, he's catching him, but can he catch him fast enough?
Catching him is one thing. Passing him is going to be a different thing.
And
if he can catch him in the right, if he can catch him in that lap traffic, he might be able to pull it off.
Here comes Rusty Wallace. There's Ken Schrader right at the door. And Rusty Wallace joins the fray. 1, 2, and 3 are now close to each other. Oh, big bobble by Ricky Rudd. Almost got Ken Schrader loose. 2 gets stuck behind the 31. Ricky Rudd still your leader, Josh. Oh, Ken looking for a moment. He did not find it.
He didn't.
That screwed him.
Lost a lot of ground.
And the 28 now flying once again. Who's in the one? Steve Park? He's having a
Yes.
terrible day. Oh, the 15 and the 8 got into it.
How did they save that?
I have no idea. Ricky Rudd gets back out to a tremendous lead over Ken Schrader, who's got Rusty Wallace right at his heel. Bill Elliott in 4th place. Terry Labonte is falling back to 5th. Elliott Sadler trying to make his way up top 5. Ten laps to go. Now, DEI hasn't really had that good of a year this year.
They have not.
Junior tries to get back in front of Ricky Rudd. Ricky not going to let it go down easily. Ricky Rudd still your leader, and we are down to 7 laps, 6 laps to go. Rusty Wallace got around Ken Schrader for 2nd. Four laps to go. Rusty Wallace, Ken Schrader are catching, but will it be enough? Here they are.
They gonna make something of it.
Rusty Wallace passes.
Wow. Passing like he was sitting still with that lap traffic playing a huge factor there.
Ken Schrader takes 2nd. Rusty Wallace now has such a lead. Brett Bodine in the way. Oof.
Rudd in up to the wall.
Rudd got into the wall bad. Ken Schrader now trying to catch the 2. As we go, we're on the white flag. White flag's in the air. And it looks like this is Rusty Wallace's race. Here he goes. And he wins it. Rusty Wallace, Ken Schrader, Ricky Rudd, Terry Labonte, Bill Elliott, top 5. And then you got Elliott Sadler, Richard Petty, Kurt Busch, Jeff Burton, Darrell Waltrip, top 10. Kenny Wallace on 11th. Bobby Labonte, 12th. Kurt Busch, 13th. Kyle Petty, 14th. Dell Jarrett, 15th. Matt Kenseth, 16th. Sterling Marlin, 17th. Jeff Gordon, 18th. Ward Burton, 19th. Michael Waltrip ended up in 20th. You guys want to see where anybody else turned up? Go ahead, pause, and read the screen. And we'll catch you guys on the next NASCAR Alternate Reality.